Soti is a premium MDM partner, and we chose Soti specifically because of their success and what the value is that they bring to our clients. Sabina, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Great to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Hi, Salim. How are you?
All is good. Thank you. How's it going with you guys?
Good. Nice to see you. So today, Sabina and Salim are going to present Soti and their enterprise management MDM platform. Sabina is going to go through the business side of it for you, and Salim is going to provide us an excellent functional presentation on the platform itself. So over to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for the introduction. So I'm Sabina. I've been at Soti for about almost 2 years now. I take care of mostly a lot of the North American accounts, anything to do with onboarding. I'm one of the account executives here. So I'm going to be taking you through our mobile device management solution and Soti X8 as well, which is going to be more of the diagnostic intelligence platform. So more of an extension from our MDM itself. So everyone can see my screen. We're all good to go. So I'm going to go through a little bit of an agenda today, just introduction about who we are, our Soti One platform, and then I'm going to be going through the live demo overview. So just feel free to interrupt me at any time towards the end if you guys have any questions. But who we are and where we are today. So from a business perspective, Soti has been around since about 1995. We've had about 110 consecutive quarters of profitability, and we are known as the innovators and pioneers of mobile device management. We have over 17,000 enterprise customers managing millions of devices, and we are growing at a pretty phenomenal rate of 35% year over year. So just in terms of some of the end customers that use our solution, this is really going into how vertical diagnostic we are. Or vertical agnostic we are. So we can do anything from manufacturing, transportation, retail, healthcare as well. And we also have a lot of case studies available as well. So just in terms of some of these customers, we can do like kiosks. If you go to some of the McDonald's locations, American Airlines, more of like the mission critical, anything from like pilots' devices all the way to baggage handlers as well. And then in terms of the broadest device support, so one of the key reasons we're able to deliver any type of value to our end customers is thanks to our partnership with over 200 device manufacturers. So we can do anything from rugged devices, tablets, smartphones, laptop PCs, kiosks, all the way to VR headsets as well. And we can pretty much manage anything from Windows, Android, iOS, and Linux devices. Now, before I jump into our Soti One platform, we do have 6 distinct products. So they're all designed to solve any type of core business challenges that organizations typically face every day. Most of our customers are using our flagship product, which is Mobi Control. And then we also have a lot more solutions as well that kind of just go into solving any type of day-to-day business challenges that they might face. So this is what I'm going to be going through today, mobile device management solution for our Mobi Control. This is where we can do out-of-the-box remote support, broadest OS support as well. And then I'm also going to be going through Soti X8, and that's pretty much a diagnostic intelligence solution that we have. There's 2 components there. One of them is incident management that will really help you resolve any type of tickets, incidents that typically take a long time if you're going back and forth with IT. And then we also have the operational intelligence, which really goes into like the diagnostics and information in terms of like battery health on devices, why batteries are not lasting a full shift, looking at application usage, signal strength, and last known location as well. And this is our other product. So this is called Soti Snap. This is really where you can basically deploy an application in just minutes without having any coding experience. The key purpose here is to just resolve any type of manual paper and pen processes and digitize it onto an application. So anyone can design and develop and build out an application quickly. And we have widgets. So we utilize Blockly technology that you can just drag and drop just to create your own application. And then we also have Soti Connect. So this is more for printer management. This is really where you can get more visibility onto your printers. You can also monitor things like print speed level, print darkness levels, paper jams, things like that. And we also support a variety of different OEMs for printers. We can do Sato, Brother, Zebra, Honeywell, and we also have a lot more like Avery Dennison and Bic Salon as well that we support. And then this is pretty much going into our support solution. So all of our support agents post-trial, they have SLAs to meet. From an industry average, we rank 89 NPS over 58. So this is something that we really take pride in, just to make sure that our customers are getting the support that they need to. They can call and get a hold of someone right away. They can email someone, or they can even go to our website and just live chat to get a hold of someone in case they need any type of resolutions to any issues for tickets and things like that. Now I'm going to jump into the live demo. I'm just going to re-share my screen back. Okay, perfect. So this is pretty much our Soti identity platform. So this is our single sign-on, and this is where you can basically integrate if you have your own single sign-on. If companies are using Okta or a different single sign-on tool, this is where you can come to for secure access to any one of our products. So we'll go ahead and click Mobi Control. This is where you're going to spend about 90% of your time managing mobile devices. And our MDM helps with three main things, which is device visibility, device organization, and device troubleshooting. So I'm going to go through a couple different elements here. First things first, we're going to go through our groups. So the group structure is really where you're going to come to organize any one of your devices. You can organize these devices based on the vertical. You can organize devices based on different locations if you have several different stores, and you can even organize it based on the management style as well. If it's corporate managed or BYOD devices, it's really up to you how you want to organize these devices. And the quality of MDM really depends on how little manual intervention you have with the devices itself. So Soti allows as little intervention with the devices, and this is one of the features where if you select one or more devices, you can simply drag and drop them from one group to another, and it changes the configurations instantly to that of the new group. So this is one of the key features we have when it comes to pushing out any new updates, applications, or configurations. And the next element would be pretty much our devices. So these are all the devices that are enrolled in our Mobi Control platform. You can see it based on the device name, the manufacturer. We have some Samsungs, we have some Zebra devices, some Apple as well. You can see it based on the model, the OS version, battery percentage. And the good thing about this view, though, is that you can actually change it. So if I go to column view default and I want to click configure, now I can choose between about 229 properties, and I can just select whichever ones I want to choose. So we can see, different things like maybe even eSIM information, IMEI. The good thing about this view is that if you are in procurement and there's someone in IT that wants to see something different, then you can just alternate between multiple views, and you can just select however many you want. And then for any reporting purposes, you can export a CSV file, or you can even download it within the console as well. And then the next element would be the device charts. So this is where you can see, the last connect dates times. If you're a visual person, this is really helpful. If you hover over it, you can also see specific information. For manufacturer model, I can know exactly how many Samsungs we have. We have about 42. Same thing with Apple devices. We have about 17. And then we also have some stacked column charts where you can see the OS version. Same concept here, where if I wanted to click a new chart, I can create my own custom chart, and I can just select whichever ones I want to see. And we can choose between the same 229 properties. If I want to see agent connect time, I can click save, and this will automatically populate a brand new chart for me. And we also have this search bar as well at the top. So the search bar is good because it basically allows any type of basic searches or even intricate queries. If I were to search my name, I can see which device is in my name, and the charts will automatically update as well because they're dynamic. But if I want to take this a step further, I can see, battery percentage is less than 50, and I can get really granular based on what I'm looking at. Now I can see all the charts and all the devices that have less than 50% battery here. I can also look at things like OS version if, we're trying to push out any type of upgrades. If I do OS version less than 11, I can see all the devices that are operating on a less OS. And this will come up over here as well. So the point of this search bar is to really get granular. And, if you want to push out any bulk actions based on whatever properties you want, you can do that as well. So this allows you to really get specific on any of the searches. And if any of these searches are things that you want to come back to, you can also save them over here as well. Now, based on the search bar, if I want to now push out any type of configurations or even bulk actions to one or more devices, I can select all devices here, and this device actions will come up over here at the bottom. So this will allow me to push out, multiple actions to all these devices. If I click on the 3 dots over here, I can see all of these different actions available. I can do a soft reset. I can send a script, upgrade the agent, and I can also favorite them as well. So they'll come up over here at the bottom. And we can also wipe the devices as well. So this is, if an employee leaves and you want to simply just wipe the laptops, you can do that. I can also send a message to these devices or rename them. So if I want to search for an action here, I can even send a message to one or more devices and let them know that there's an upgrade that's going to be happening tonight. And we can even do this until the user will press OK, and then it will send it out to all these devices here. Now, if I were to go to an individual device now and I want to select my device, I can do the same device actions menu, but this will just apply to mine. So all these actions are already favorited. Remote control is one that will always be here. And then all of these other actions are pretty much at the top right. Now for my individual device, if I want to look for any properties, let's say I'm trying to troubleshoot this, I can look at all this information here, like the compliance, device details, hardware information. But if I don't want to search for any one of these, I can simply do a keyword search and I can find out what the SSID is. I can also take a look at what the OS version is on the device as well. So this allows you to basically search for any information instantly. I can also look at the compliance, configurations, which applications are installed. If there's some apps here that shouldn't be here, I can go ahead and remove those. And we can also look at the location as well. So this is really to track the devices, get the full visibility of where they are. And I can also change this to like an aerial mode, but this is where I can do any type of live tracking to the device. So I can see right now, it's in a building and where the exact intersection is as well. We can also track the device for up to 60 minutes. And another thing we can do is we can look at the history. So everywhere where the device has been, and we can select a specific range time. And this will give us, pinpoints on a map of all the locations where the device has actually gone. So this is good for like route tracking, especially for different companies, transportation logistics, any type of field devices. And we can also create things like geofencing. So if I wanted to create any type of shape or size I want, let's say on a specific area, I can do it for a building. Now I can get notified when a device will go in and out of a location based on this geofence. So a lot of MDMs, they only support polygonal views, but if certain companies have shared buildings, I can basically create any type of shape. And now we can get notified. We can also basically restrict the devices as well based on its geolocation. We can even put the device into like a lockdown mode when it enters a specific location, or disable the camera for like more of the high security locations as well. And we can also name this geofence. And then we can also look at things like the security, collected data. Logs will be available here. So I can select a specific time range of how far out I want to see the logs. And then we can pretty much download them easily as well within the console. We can look at what message is popping up and who's been in the device itself. Now, the next thing that we'll do is we'll go into the remote control. So this is where I can see the device in real time, and I can pretty much find out exactly what's going on with the device. Let's say the user's having an issue, but the device will come up instantly in just seconds, and I can see exactly which applications are installed. I can go into the device and pretty much see what's going on. One thing we can also do is we can take like a device snapshot. So this is pretty much a health check on the device. I can look at the battery, the memory, the storage. I can also look at what agent version they're on, if there's any upgrades to be done on this device. All of this will be available over here. And we can also do any type of diagnostic files. We can get ADB logs, and we can even download it while we're remoting into the device. So this is especially helpful, instead of shipping the device back and forth. This is really how we can resolve any type of issues in real time. And what we can also do with Excite, and where our integration comes into, is if I click Add to Incident, if now the device user is having an issue with, let's say, an application, maybe that's not loading, I can go into the device, I can see what's happening, and I can also take some real-time screenshots. I can also record videos on to whatever the user is experiencing, and I can also put the device user's voice as well into the recording. We can also enable any type of screen drawing. So if I'm trying to highlight, is it this application that you're experiencing issues with, we can basically take any type of relevant screenshots, videos, and now this will attach automatically onto this incident ticket over here. And everything would be pretty much, we can go back to, we can download these, and we can use it for any precedents for support and development. And now we can enter a subject line as well. Let's say the app wasn't working. I want to go ahead and enter that, and I want to expand this further. We can also assign different reporters, and we can also assign like assignees, people that would be responsible for resolving this ticket, and watchers as well, people that will get notified, about the incident. So this might be like an IT help desk or a general email over here. And now we've gone ahead in real time and we've resolved whatever issue the user was experiencing, and we can go ahead and submit this as resolved. So this is kind of a quick way for you to resolve any type of incidents or tickets without having much downtime on the device. Another thing that we can do is our live chat feature. So right now this live chat is exclusive for Android devices, but if I wanted to send a message to this device, let's say, is your app working now? This is especially helpful because now I have my own ticket agent, and I can open this and just chat directly onto whoever is helping me resolve this ticket. And we can also just send a message. What we can also do is we can start a video call as well with this user, and we can start a regular call as well. So if you want to FaceTime them, or if you want to just get a hold of them as well, this is how you can do that without them having like a SIM card, or if they're in an area that might not support any type of signal, this is where you can pretty much do that. And now we'll go back to the incident management page. So this is pretty much where we can see all of the tickets in real time. This is where we can see, pretty much who the reporters are, any type of subject line. It looks a lot like the Mobi Control for the interface, but this is really where we can see the charts at the top, and all of the incidents in real time. And we can also expand this further if I want to see, let's say, all 50 of them. We can also see it based on the priority, which ones are minor, which ones are critical, and blocker. And we can also filter this based on unresolved, unassigned, and all incidents as well if you want to see all of them. Now, the other component of Excite would be the operational intelligence. So this is really where you can see the full analytics of different components that I'll go through. We'll expand this to, let's say, last 30 days. But we're going to go through a couple different elements. So the first one would be the battery status. And this is really where you can see pretty much all of the battery statuses on devices based on manufacturer, model, and OS version as well. On the left-hand side, we have the different profile groups. So this is where we can pretty much filter down between, different profiles. If you want to separate it based on different roles, you can do that as well. So we'll go ahead and click one of the other elements. Let's say we want to go to application usage. We can go ahead and click this, and this should give us pretty much all of the information that we need. Last calendar month. There you go. Okay, so if we go back to the battery status, we can see which batteries are good, which ones are bad. This will really help us understand why batteries might not be lasting a full shift. So if we click on top 5 manufacturers, all of these charts are cascading. And if I click on one of them, all of them will pretty much update as well. So if we're only concerned about the zebras, we can click this. We have it based on different models, OS versions. And if we scroll down, we can also see it based on the top 5 battery capacities as well. And we can also see it based on the remaining battery capacities. So if we're only concerned about this chart, we can also click this as well. We can see different battery temperatures, which ones are too hot, too cold. And we can also see it based on the charging pattern as well. We can see which ones are spot charge, which ones have been randomly charged, and which ones are basically being charged based on wireless or USB. So typically the wireless docks are really bad for batteries and it causes a lot of drainage. So we can see who's charging it on those wireless docks as well, and what the charge level is at 8 a.m. So now if we scroll down, we can see exactly whose devices they are. We can get really granular and all the filters will come up at the top. And if I click on any one of these elements or whoever's user this is, I can pretty much get a full overview. I can see what the temperature is, the charging pattern on this user's device, and what the charge level is that he's been experiencing as well. So this is something that you can also filter out based on, the last week, the last calendar month, and you can get really granular over here, even do any type of reporting as well. The next thing would be the application usage. So this is where you can see it based on the top 5 manufacturers. Again, we have it on the top right of the models, the OS versions. But now if I scroll down, I can see who's using the applications for business and who's using it for non-business applications. So if I click on regular, I can see exactly which top 5 apps are being used. We have one that's called Rocket Fruit, Quad Breaker. If I click on one of these as well, I can see, who's using these ones. And if I scroll down, I see a whole list of people that have been using this gaming application. So this is really where you can get the full visibility onto that. And like I mentioned, you can also select a different kind of range. If you want to see it based on today, last 7 days, last 30 days, you can get really granular over here. We can also see it for a shift. So let's say we want to see it for a full shift of applications. We can see it from 9 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. as well. And this will give us pretty much the same information, but now this will be on a specific time range. We also have the data usage chart as well. So the data usage chart is helpful because this will actually help us understand which applications are being used based on Wi-Fi, cellular. So if I scroll down, I can see it based on the cellular, Wi-Fi, and roaming. A lot of companies, especially in Canada, they don't have unlimited data plans. So this will help us understand, what's basically causing a lot of that data to go over. Is it an application? Is it, installs? And this is where we can understand that as well. We can see it based on the top 5 carriers. And we can also see it based on upload and download. So if I want to see who's, let's say, uploading a lot of information, I can also click this as well. And now we can pretty much see what's being uploaded based on the top 5 data apps and the top 5 browsers as well. And again, we can see the full list of devices here. So this gives us pretty much the full visibility onto what's going on and which most used apps is causing a lot of data overage. And we also have another element called the last known location. So as I've shown, Mobi Control does give you some information to live locate the devices. Now this gives you a full map view of it. So again, we have the top 5 manufacturers models. If I scroll down, I can see it again based on the top 5 mobile carriers. So we have Bell, Rogers, Verizon. If I click on Bell, for example, we can also see it based on the network SSIDs and the carrier signal strength. So now if I scroll down, I can see a full map view. And if I hover over it, I can also see specific information like the last reported start date, end date, and pretty much the timings as well. I can also get a little bit closer as well to understand where all these devices are located and scattered throughout. And if I want to see it based on the bad signal only, I can also click this, and this will help me understand where these bad signal devices are located. And we also have the element for the signal strength. So this kind of ties into the last known location. If I click this now, this will pretty much give me all the information for which areas might have bad signal, which ones might have good signal. And this will give us a full heat map. So Instead of the pinpoints on the map, I can pretty much see areas that might have good signal, average signal, and bad signal. So if I only want to be concerned about the bad signal areas, I can click this, and this will pretty much help me understand, which areas might be good, which ones might be reporting bad. Maybe it's based on the carrier. So maybe I want to click on the Rogers as well, because I know my field devices are mostly being used by this carrier, and this will help me understand that as well. Now, in terms of all the charts, we also have another feature called the watch list. So this is where you would come to really get notified and help you be proactive about the devices. With the watch list feature, you can pretty much create a watch list profile, and you can select different rules, different parameters that you want to basically get notified if devices cross those parameters. So it really helps you keep track of any type of device issues and just help you be proactive about that. So the first one would be critical. So if devices violate 3 or more of those watch list conditions, it would go into a critical state, and you want to see whose devices they are that might be reporting into some issues. We also have it for data. So if the data consumed exceeds a certain amount per month, and again, you can set up those parameters of what those are. You want to get notified ahead of time, whose devices they are that are crossing so much data and what's going on with them. So this will give you a full list of that. And then we have it for battery as well. If the battery discharge rate exceeds a certain amount, this might indicate that there's an issue with the battery. If it's the same people over and over again, you can also understand what's going on with their batteries, and we can do any type of reporting over here as well. So you can easily download that CSV file. We can also look at storage. So if storage consumed exceeds a certain amount, you want to see whose devices they are. Same thing with memory and virus scan as well. So the last virus scan, if that exceeds over 2 days, you can also get notified over here and see whose devices they are that are not reporting into the latest update for the virus scan. Check-in is also very important if you're sending out updates and the devices are not getting those updates. If the last check-in exceeds 1 day, you want to get notified of who's not getting updates and why these devices are not being checked in. So this will give you all this information over here, and it also lets you know when the last check-in date was. We also have it for location as well. So the last known location report, maybe the device is lost, maybe it's stolen. We want to know when the last reported location was, and this will also give you the date as well. It'll also tell you all this information of, the model, the OS version, agent version, and like I mentioned, you also have it on the left-hand side where we can categorize these on different groups. And then this last element would be going into the drops. So this is where you can get notified if the drop event exceeds over a certain amount. We want to get visibility on how many times someone has dropped their device physically or what impact is going on with their device. Maybe they're being careless about the device. Maybe, the device just keeps getting dropped. So this is where we can pretty much see that as well and get that full visibility. We can also see that this person dropped their device about 70 times. So this is really where we can see everything, and we can also just do a quick report on that as well. And I know that I was mentioning about the group structure itself, of how easy it is to pretty much, basically move the device from one group to another. So if I go back to Mobi Control, if someone did lose their device, just kind of going back to that first element, if I wanted to drag and drop this device from one group to another, I can basically put this into a lost or stolen group, and this device will get new configurations. It'll have a completely new interface, and this is something that can also be customized. So if you wanted to customize a lockdown screen to say, if this device is found, please, call so-and-so, we can also do that as well. But now if I go back and try to remote control into this device, it'll have a completely new interface. And this is just by dragging and dropping it. I didn't touch the device at all, but now it has a completely new face to it. And we can see that this device has been fully secured, and it's pretty much powered by Mobi Control. So aside from the screen, I can't get past it. But once the device is found, then what we can do is we can just move it back to its staging folder. And I can just pretty much move this device back, and it'll be in its regular configurations. And there we go. Now, if I move the device back, it's pretty much in its regular state. In terms of enrolling devices and setting up any type of profiles that you would save and assign in groups, really easy to do that as well. We can click on profiles, and for the first time that you're setting that up, you can basically choose between whether it's an Android, Apple, Windows, Linux, and we can pretty much set up different type of management styles like work manage, BYOD, but this is where you would pretty much do that. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for me. We'll probably go into questions now.
That was an incredible presentation. You know, every time I see the capabilities of Soti, I'm always amazed. And we've watched some of our clients, as you know, we've watched some of the clients that have deployed Soti take full advantage of so much of what you're talking about. We did have a couple of questions I wanted to share with you.
Yeah.
And they're actually quite good. One of the questions were, do you provide any solutions focused around the mobile or industrial printers?
Yes, we do. So as Sabina alluded to, Connect, which is our solution that does management of printers. And to be more specific, it is more the industrial / rugged printers, not the ones that we have in the offices like the Xerox machines.
Right.
Just to be clear.
Of course. No, that's great. I think one of the other questions were, what are the devices that are fully supported by the solution itself?
Sure. So that's basically the number one question that we always get. As Sabina mentioned, we try to keep our solution as horizontal as possible, which comes with, being OS agnostic and OEM agnostic. So anything under, the basic operating systems such as Android, iOS, Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. Generally speaking, we can manage it. There might be some OEMs that might need certification to go like the extra step in managing their devices, but we're happy to do that as well.
Has there been any devices that are a challenge that clients might be aware of?
Come again? Sorry.
Are there any devices that have posed a challenge for clients that the Soti One platform is able to manage, where say other platforms can't?
That comes in with the certification process that we have. So, certain operating systems have multiple OEMs, which brings the challenge of can we control their devices fully or partially. So this is why we do have a certification program in which we talk to the OEM, the vendor, etc. Have test devices, and if there's something that is missing, we'll create an agent that is specific for that device to get the edge over that device compared to other MDMs there.
That's good. This one is actually hot off the press. It's on my phone, as a matter of fact. Sabina, you talked about some of the reporting and utilization metrics that you're able to determine of what the devices are doing. So this particular one came from one of our customers out in East Coast. Let's say someone uses 5 gigabytes of data, 5 gigabytes on Facebook a month. Can we limit them to a cap? And can this be done on a per app basis?
Maybe at the moment not on per app basis, but we're working on such things because, again, Excite is adding the capabilities as we speak. But generally speaking, you can put certain thresholds for like soft caps and hard caps, in which, for example, if a soft cap is being reached, you get notified. So you be proactive about it, and when there's a hard cap that has been reached, you can just sever the connection altogether if you want to. That is.
That's great. That's great. So at least that's an interim. At least that's an interim approach until those kind of capabilities come to the platform, which is great. Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for today.
Thank
You're
you.
most welcome. Our pleasure. Thank you for having us.